डियर स्टूडेंट्स, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आज हम चालू कर रहे हैं एक्सरसाइज 4.2 ऑफ कोऑर्डिनेट ज्योमेट्री। तो पहला क्वेश्चन जो है इसमें राइट द आंसर ऑफ द फॉलोइंग क्वेश्चंस। हमने इन सवालों के जवाब लिखने हैं। इससे पहले हमने कॉन्सेप्ट को इंट्रोड्यूस किया था। कोऑर्डिनेट ज्योमेट्री के मुतालिक जो कॉन्सेप्ट थे हमारे पास, कोऑर्डिनेट Cartesian plan, coordinate axis, coordinates of a point, and how to specify a point in a Cartesian plane or XY plane. So after knowing all these concepts, we should be able to answer the questions based on the concepts we learned. So पहला क्वेश्चन है, what is the name of the horizontal and the vertical lines drawn to determine the position of a point in a Cartesian plane? So in order to determine the position of a point in a plane, we draw two lines. One a horizontal line, that is x and x prime. We called it as x-axis, and a vertical line like this called y-axis. So the name of these two lines drawn to determine the position of a point in a Cartesian plane is x-axis and y-axis. The horizontal line is called x-axis, and the vertical line is called y-axis. So it is the answer of the question number first. And now we will come to the next part of the question, that is, what is the name of each part of the plane formed by these two lines? These two lines divide the plane into four parts. One part, second, third, and fourth part. Four parts, and each part is called a quadrant. We call each part as a quadrant. So we have four quadrants in a plane formed by the coordinate axis, or that is quadrant first, quadrant second, quadrant third, and quadrant fourth. So we got the question answered. Now we'll move to the third part of the question, that is, write the name of the point where these two lines intersect. These two mutually perpendicular axes, that is x-axis and y-axis, intersect at a point. This point is known as origin. This is called origin. So the point of intersection of the coordinate axis is called origin. Point of intersection of the coordinate axis is called origin. Now the question number 2 of the exercise, that we had write the coordinates. The first part of the question is that the coordinates of B. So we have write down the coordinates of B. Point B is in the figure below. You have to look into the figure and determine locate these pointers, or write down the coordinates of the pointers. Point B is over here. This point B and the perpendicular from this point B meets the x-axis at distance -5, at a distance of -5 units. So its x coordinate is -5. So its coordinates are -5. X coordinate is -5, and its y coordinate is over here. When we draw perpendicular from this point B on the y-axis, the perpendicular meets the y-axis at this point. That is at this point is at a distance of 2 units. So we write is as 2. Therefore the coordinates of point B are -5 and 2. So these are the coordinates of point B. Now we have to write down the coordinates of point C. So point C is over here. Its x coordinate is 5 on the x-axis. It is, when we draw the perpendicular from this point C, it meets the x-axis at point 5, that is at this point, and y-axis at -5. So its coordinates are 5 -5, x5 and y -5. Similarly, you can see the point identified by the coordinates -3 -5. So where is -3 and -5? -3 on the axis is this point. Sorry, let me. -3 on the axis is here, and -5 on the y-axis is over here. Whenever we draw perpendiculars from these two pointers, they meet at this point, so it is point E. So -5 -3 -5 corresponds to point E in the figure, so it denotes the point E. Similarly, the point identified by the coordinates 2, 4, x2 and y4. X2 is over here and y4 is over. X2 is over here and y4 is over here. These two correspond to the point G. So this pair corresponds to point G in the figure. Similarly, abscissa, x coordinate. X coordinate is also known as abscissa of point G, of point D. Let me have a look on the point D. Point D corresponds to number 6 on the x-axis, so it is abscissa is 6. So abscissa is 6. Similarly, ordinate means y coordinate of h. H is here and its y coordinate is this -3. So its y coordinate is -3. The ordinate is -3. Similarly, you can find the coordinates of point L. Where is point L? Point L is over here. It is a point on the y-axis, so its coordinates are, its x coordinate is 0 and y coordinate is 5. So its coordinates are 0, 5. Similarly, the coordinates of point M. Where is point M? Point M. Point M is over here. It is a point on the x-axis. So each point on the x-axis is of the form x, 0. So its x coordinate is -3 and y coordinate is 0. So these are the coordinates of the points. In this way, we learned how to locate the pointers and find the how to determine the coordinates of given pointers in a Cartesian plane. This was the exercise whole about the previous concepts.